Okay, a quick update on AI Sales Coach. What we're building here right now is the Scribe V2 real-time relay, and we're using 11 Labs Scribe V2 real-time, and it's a real-time transcription, so you already get the text that who is speaking what at timestamp. Let me start this as well. So you're getting a real-time transcript using Transcribe V2. This is the real-time demo, and I can transcribe using my mic. Allow. For example, we're looking at AI Sales Coach is an app that we're building, and we are looking at real-time transcription as soon as you get a queue. So we get the transcript, feed that into a queue agent, we get the queue on the screen. That's AI Sales Coach. So it works live on your calls. It gets the transcript. At the end of your calls, you get a meeting, you get the next step, you get the summary, and you may get your email drafted, and you may get your content drafted as well. So we keep on creating content on top of it, so it detects so we could be launching these as service layer features. And yeah, to just give you an idea, it's running right now on my microphone. So this is a real-time transcription, and this real-time transcription is feeded into AI. Scratch lies 5 seconds. So we feed this transcription directly into our app, and we would be running this on the desktop. And the desktop could be your MacBook, could be your Windows, could be Linux. So I'm trying a framework Rust based, and we've been building this up for next like 3 or 4 more sessions. We have a little box here that I've bought on Contabo, and that was when I didn't have this service functionality on the ShipDeck, where you can get yourself a box, and it's a remote machine. You have and you could get like 6 CPU and 12 gigabytes of RAM, 150 GB of disk space. Like, you can rent this space, and you can run the computation power directly inside your ShipDeck, and you can select your location. The US is most popular for those who are running US gated apps, like any workflow, any business that integrate your apps that is only a geo-logged to your address. Maybe if you're in UK, that some websites or some application works only for those customers. So we need to keep a location, put a location on your box, and once you do that, name your box, review the payment, and you get charged like $6.20 per month to get this space. And to kill, like, this space would give you enormous values. I would be talking about like multiple server grade application you could be running. For example, CRM, your content managers, maybe your websites, your applications, your landing pages, your marketing funnels, your cron automations, your workflows. So all the drip campaigns and whatever you want to run from here, you just need the API and credentials to integrate with other apps for email service layer. And on top of it, we could run some AI automation layers as well. But here we are talking about like terminal, where I have few machines I run on ShipDeck, and these are remote machines. It doesn't need to be provision from ShipDeck. So you could get your own machine on box. There is some certain limitation on the plan, but you can get your box here, and very simple, just copy and paste the script on the box you are logged in as such into your box, and then you run the script. It gets you a private key that you paste into here. So you copy the whole private key, paste, and connect and save. So that this should give you server saved here that you can then run vaults. So you can add those servers into a new vault, and production servers, I could say ShipDeck X Fanstart, something like that. So you have a vault where you can put servers in, and then you can add members. Members could be your developers, it could be yourself. So if you're running agents using multiple subscriptions, I normally running at my capacity, like one account, one Claude Max is still not enough for me. So I would probably need another upgrade in the future. So I'd get another Claude Code. This ShipDeck is revolving around Claude Code. So Claude Code is you could run on your machines. It's your agents, your subscriptions, and you need to pay for it. So on the machines, you run your agents, and then you could have servers, domains, and audio is another feature. Like you can get this terminal window where you have running two machines, two instances of my machine that has the AI sales coach. So the Fanstart plus AI sales code sharing one machine with that in mind. So you could run into some troubleshooting, but that requires your networking installation on your machine to make sure that you're running your two apps smoothly. And here I have one domain that's binded to this Fanstart, and I'm still need to get the AI sales code domain. So let's get started. But before that, just a quick survey and run through this ShipDeck platform. You can hit this audio to start the input, and then I can talk with my agents running on this box real time. And then it's going to be continuously coding unless you hit stop here. So I can, for example, I can go is when I want to test the front end, I would just simply start my recording here, and I would go to the front end. Maybe I cannot sign in, so I would need my password, or maybe create an account. Right now we may want to limit, but if you want to create an account, I should be able to do so easily. For example, if just using a testing parameter after or before the @ so for example, I am doing fanstart1@gmail.com. Password could be anything you want to set that you won't forget. Create a password. Logged in, you can go to your dashboard, and I would need to finish my Stripe setup because I, on my other account, still have the test running. So Stripe is in the test mode here. So I could still be using Stripe test mode to get the testing done real quick. But let me see. You need to put in the details, then I'm going to cancel it here. But this should get you, if you're a creator, you get your business on the Stripe. So you are registered as a merchant record. So we get charged $2 per merchant record, and we pay out to you. So that is your creator. You need to finish this Stripe setup, and then here you can create your first idea. So the product idea is ShipDeck. Let's say the next idea I want to put in is you have remote box, you have to manage your own machine on box, on application. So on it, but let's say managed box storage, maybe backup, let's say backup. So managed box backup, so you can bring up your boxes, and we charge you this, how many backups we could store for your product. And here I would need to put in some description, cover image, and deposit amount. You could optionally, if it's a larger product, for example, requires 20,000, 50,000, or $1 million. So you might need to put like from your end optionally, and that just a publishing or promotion amount you commit to cover. So not a card we charge. So once you hit the publish, you go to the dashboard. Right now I don't see any because I am logged in, but if I log out, a dashboard would look something like this. So you have this product, you open some seeded, you open this one. So this is an influencer, have the handle, followers, and it's a niche in beauty. You have pledged, and you have some backers. formulator turn creator, you have a single line, single sentence, maybe 2 sentence intro, and then hasn't set up the payment yet. So because we have the Stripe in testing mode that you would need to do, but this account is like open and I can run deposit. So deposit could be $50. I could put my name in here and start the testing because it's still in the testing. So go to just like that and start. And that gave you, your card is saved, nothing has been charged. And if it funds, so deadline 31 July. And to see this pledge anytime, email me a sign-in link. So we do have email in, and let me put my email, Fanstart, say 1, maybe, or I could simply go just with this email. Let me see where I can get that. Yep, I got the email. Okay. Let me copy the link to give you an idea how that looks like. Something like this. So we have our branding done on the email. It works once, expire in 10 minutes. So I need to use this button. It should get me to the Fanstart on my board. So here's my board. But because that account still doesn't have that Stripe done, but I could do it because it's test account, so won't hurt. For the live testing, I would just simply turn off my switch to the production. So I would need to add new keys. Flip the keys here. So I see the branding is working, which is good. And use a different, resend the link. Check email pledge. Your account creator. So it requires you to go on to link paste here. So your board, you do not have any ideas, but it should give me that's a creator login. Let me prompt my agent to ask it like why private and push authors true control represent a different GitHub. Fanstart. Let me search my GitHub. Fanstart. Creators private and push. Then we want compact. And let me get here. It's only full. We need to get this other subdomain to a marketing app that we can run marketing on. But here, let's run a compact and effort to the max and prompt this. So when I did I want to see myself as a, let me go back here because I done context. So once I hit the there's the link, hit the page that you already before. So request your see exact message. Fanstart never ask you account created the moment you pledge. I want to see this account. So this account is when I deposit, and then it prompts me to add your email to see your pledge. So it needs to be the same email that you maybe captured on my Stripe, or how do we link or track that as a pledge like depositor or a creator. So I don't see the subscribers login. So I would need to see the subscriber login as well, and make sure that when I open the link, it gives me like it gets me to the creator dashboard. I straight go to the creator dashboard, and there's no way I see my own pledges. So if possible, I would need to see my own pledges here, but maybe there's a subscribers dashboard because they don't want to pay for it. And they could be creator, but they are free, or they are pledging as well. So we might combine this together. So they could also sign up as and see their pledges if they did in past for any. But we need to keep the email as a unique thing, or phone number, because once we take their email, their name, their email, we create a profile that should be like deduplicated on any new login using that same link. So we can have a dashboard for creator, we can have a dashboard for your subscribers. So if you could just simply switch your dashboards, would be possible, would be better. But I could go into my subscriber dashboard and I could go into my creator dashboard. I would see the states on those things. Okay. That's a prompt I will put to my agent. So I see this bar is stale. Oh, is it done? That's the Fanstart AI sales coach. Where are we running? That was just a test, but let's see. White green was shipped. Line, your audio drop, not buffered. My structural didn't live applied. Box only DB in the running stack. Throwaway PG one tips. The block sleep constraint. Happy to do it. Want belt and suspenders. Want me go straight. Companion 1 queue completed. Open routers. Transcript turn into live queues. That's the piece that closes the loop. So I would need to do that. Reply from here. So yes, we want to straight go into companion 1 and run, review, and simplify agents on what's already built, and also run a skill update, so context update through the whole DB for whole code base for AI sales coach, because we want to update and refresh the context based on things we're working. We don't want stale things lying around in the repository, in the directory, and logging up, maybe creating file structure not optimal. So we want to clean up the code base as well. So could be running this planning and investigation, exploring, planning using some agents. But let's also, what I want to do is review and simplify on the things we did, like the whole thing we wired real-time RT2A is built and wired, so we need to run that. And what I want is I would also locally get the code base and run a build for Linux. So give me all the commands that's required for me to get this on my local. So I could be, I'm already logged in using GitHub, so I'll just get the code base copied over, and then I would run the Linux testing here real time. So I want to straight go into companion 1 queue completer open router. Initially, we would be testing this with fast models, but not expensive. We'd go as cheap as possible. But the real question is, how do we get the call? So it needs to run another AI step in between before, like a short-term AI collector, maybe running through other AI models to get the context on the step of the call settings, and then we feed that into global context. That context is shared between the agents. So any real-time agent would have access to that context where we're running. What is the state, what is happening, and what is collected, and what the pains are, and what should be the queue. So it should have a real idea about what's happening and should have concrete states on what's next and what to generate. So what should be the queue, and should detect the emotional change as well, because we have too many, we have tons of the knowledge database on the emotional flow of the call. So emotional is your voice as well, how you handle the conversation, how you stop in between. So we need to capture that. So I want to run this framework. So I think it's better to create a framework because we already using Rust. But how do you think we could do this as a service layer type of module? I think we build on top of it and not just core and just create a full long monolith, which isn't very good. So I'm already running compact and you would have new context. So let's start working on this. Sometimes I forget that I'm on a call or on a take. So I just record myself too long prompts, but that's okay because we're running agents and we need to get something out. And here we're looking at some context window, maybe. Why we are on Sonnet 5 model, default. Let me compact. Oh, you already compact, so continue now. So we are on Opus 5, max effort, and 14% context, but that's stale because we did the compact, and compact adds in these into my timeline. So what was done, post demo, polish branches to private GitHub. We did the test suits type checking. We did the idea filtering to include deadline state. We did the email We did the Fanstart. So because we're on the Fanstart, I would need the working directory to be added. I would also need working directory added to my status line. And yes, so that's it. There we go. This is the terminal, gives you a sneak peek into your remote boxes. We already did these two prompts for two agents. Agent's going to keep on running in the background, churn on it. And I could give them all the decisions when they prompt me to, but these are like agents. I have workspaces and I have multiple SSH windows running into that browser. So it's all web-based. So you connect to your remote machine and you talk with your agents, and that's how you build. All I need to do is run the setup, add the box, and I could optionally do is install the agent kit and scaffold a new project. So that's when I want to run a new project. What it does is it's going to add in all the agent kit. So it has all the Claude MD's structure, skill, architectural skills. So meaning what we are going to use, we're going to use front-end solid.js. It's a reactive, very short sized library where it's very fast, quick, and reactive. And normally it's very fast, so you just refresh the pages, you don't even know the difference. So it has a 6 architecture skills. So front end, back end, database, and the review, debug, planning, so all the investigation checks. So and then there's orchestrator Claude.md that's been set for you and ties all the skills together, because we need to get the context as low as possible for the AI agents. Claude.md goes in with your messages, so it registers all the subcategories and it knows what skills to run for what thing. So for example, if I run changes on my front end, it has the skill that it's going to use that skill and create the best front end for me. But in terms of designing and in terms of guiding it through the tokens, what I like to do is I can delegate this to my Claude design from my Claude code. So I would run changes real time on my Claude design. Give you that design. So on the Claude design, you can get the get to the design, and I could start my designing here. Have get my agent to run it through the funnels, all the screens, deposits, dashboard, analytics, everything is built up. And all you need to do is wire it on your accounts. So dashboard analytics is when you do have the values here. So you could see it, but I could mimic that using some seed values. You have manage ideas. So this is backer list. So for each board, payouts and earnings, plans and billings. I got these everything on the design, and then got it synced on my remote machine using Claude Code. And once I got the front end done, I would just simply get the back end and all logic put together using the AI agents here. Because this is a very starter box, I don't want to run too many Claude Code instances on here. But if it was something else, some other server I had, I would just simply open up 3, 4, 5 agents at the same time. Because, for example, if I have a website, I could have some applications, I could have a CRM, I could have some self-hosted application for my business. So for anything that you want to manage, it's very easy to run it on a box rather than on your machine, because you might get a shutdown, you might get a network issue. But when you get like hosted space and with computation, you get this remote box with ready to go. And you could start with your agents, just talk with the agents. Maybe you can record your idea on a WhatsApp note. What I like to do is, if there's a client or there's a referral that came to me and asked me to do something for them, I do lay out their plan. I'll just ask them to record me long audio, maybe a few different audios to talk about your idea in more depth. So I've just download the audio from here and just upload it in the audio here. So you get the transcription and then you run your prompt, get the agent to convert that brain dump into a structured project idea that you can pitch your client. So very simple. And yeah, I do have my own box here running, and I could start like 4 or 5 different AI agents on different things like website. And I want to do the marketing refinement. I want to do some backend work. So all you can do here, but it needs to go through your web. And yeah, I would think we could also create a desktop application for this. But you can also explore all your audio voice notes here that you did in the past, and you can even run your own or record a voice note here directly to get a transcript out of it. And settings, you have your 2FA. So when you log in for this, you get your 2FA authentication. It's required because these are remote machines, might be yours, might be a client. So we don't need to compromise the access. And you can add in your AI provider if you want to remain on a free plan. So free plan is free forever, and get to bring your own keys for the AI transcription. And that's, I think, about it. We're not using GitHub Identity anymore, so I'll just archive this feature from here. You should be able to change your password, but I could add other things once this is live and ready in production. So I was talking about install agent kit. It gives you real start everything, and you can just scaffold multiple projects using this command. And what I like to do is other thing is install this Claude Mem plugin. So this plugin is when you run compact on this, it's going to be running through a cheaper model on the Claude side, and it gives you a summary or what it did. So in a bullet, and that gets like also picked up by this tool, and it gives you that session hook. So once a session is compacted, then it gets run and have it as simple. I think it has a small database running as well that stores all the timeline events of what things happened. Very interesting tool. I like to run this, and I can compact and run some changes real quick here. But let me simply just make some Android. I could get a new SSH, open up another window, be down here, and get a ShipDeck, and like run Claude. Very simple. You just log in into your folder and run this. The first thing I change is effort to maybe, oops, effort to max. So we could go max. And here I could, so I see there's an issue with my maybe servers. Yeah, I was getting a new server, and when I had opened up my model, I have got the locations selected. I add my name. You have that you put in this tab. It's good. And you could go US and different type of servers. I would still need okay. So I was talking about the tools, and if you want to run this one script setup for your box, it's going to add in all your system, upgrade your system. The first things, prerequisites, we need the detach and the Node.js bun Claude CLI agent kit as well. So it's idempotent, so you can run it multiple times, but if it's installed, it won't install it again. So very simple to start. I could just bring in my domain, my box, and run this runtime tools, and then add in an agent or maybe Claude Mem, and then start my new project. This very quickly. So a system that I want to vaults as well. So you can also create a new vault. For example, this is my, open this. I have my servers. You could be visible to you, and blueprints, invitation. I don't know. The blueprints need to, because this was deprecated. There was a feature that I want to run on the ShipDeck, but I had to get it out of it because it was spending everything too much. We need to projects. We don't even need the projects as well. So members, servers, invitations. You can invite members. They are not membered. They would be on free. There's some limitations, like how many people you could invite to edit your servers, like work on your terminals. They're going to have like listed your terminal, your box in the account that you can, and they can work on the end remote machines. For example, if you want to have some developers working on your remote machine, you could get bots, invite them, and they're going to see the bots in the account as well. And you both could share your sessions. You could be looking at what he's doing at the same time. And yeah, that's very intuitive way, but I think that it requires more work because I'm going to need uh, users to refine this tool into more something that I'm comfortable into putting into the market. So just a small tour of the ShipDeck, and I'll be running some live tomorrow as well, working live on the apps like Fanstart, AI Sales Code, ShipDeck. So thank you for watching.